Hello there, everybody. Welcome to episode 25 of the second season of The Savage Lands. And it is, for me, a pretty special episode because there have been a lot of things happening. And today, we're going to go for a few projects. I have a few things in mind. I realized that this place here, it really can, and it really can use a well. I want to put up one. So we're going to set up that as one thing, but that's a pretty small goal, I know. And the other thing that I have on my mind is more in this region. So I took a look on this area here, and I'm gonna say it's quite the battlefield by now. We had a pretty brutal skirmish with a giant spider. Who knows where that thing went to? I don't care. I don't know. It's not around anymore. It has murdered several of my best fighters before skittering away, so I'm actually glad it's gone, but that's actually not the topic. The main attraction here is Sposs Night Snot, the Pulp of Biles. What a wonderful title, isn't it? So I realized that this thing is actually made of freaking platinum. So I realized it'd be best if that thing stays where it is. Then I realized that we had recently quite a lot of gremlins here, and I don't know if gremlins can unlock doors. I know that they can flick switches, but the first thing that I want to do today is I want to make sure that my slightly paranoid feeling that I suddenly had when I realized that we had gremlins around. Well, let's do this. Just let's draw a wall up in front of that door. Just in case, because I really don't want that anybody opens that door ever again, because we have something better to do for our good friend Sposs Nightsnot. So this is going to be the main topic for today. I know I'm a little bit lengthy today. So the thing is, we can put this creature to good use. We're going to use it to dispose to dispose of all these things that we collect here, all these grundles and all the things that we gotta get rid of these. And I get tired of murdering them in some weird room situation. And this way, well, we're going to put up some sort of a pit device up here, and yeah, that's going to be what we're doing. That's going to be what we're constructing today. And all in the meantime, oh yeah, there have been many interesting things historically and story-wise for this run. So while our dwarves are busy, let's get on over to the statues district. So I was ogling some art the other day when I saw, for one, a really beautiful thing. So here's the statue of Udil Growlwork. Udil is surrounded by sheep, so you might ask yourself, who the hell is Udil Growlwork? There's a lot of art on it, on the statue, and a lot of really costly things. And there's also a picture where somebody gets murdered by a giant bird. So Udil Growlworks, as a matter of fact, I did some research, is not only one of the founding members, he's the OG expedition leader that has founded Brightness Portals. And we have here, by far, the most valuable statue in the fortress depicting this guy. I was filled with joy when I saw that, because this really is something grand. And what took me a little bit back into a more contemplative mood was the fact that we have here a picture of a buck rabbit being slain by a giant blue jay, and the buck rabbit has a where is it? The buck rabbit is called Locum Fence Stops, the buck rabbit locum fence stops, making a plaintive gesture towards the giant birds. Those giant birds start to manifest themselves in the art of Brightness Portals, and this is with all the joy that I had when I saw that, I was wondering if if the Savage Lands are not claiming back this fortress one day, because we've had weird occurrences of bird attacks in the pen that I still haven't fully understood. They're just suddenly appearing from here as if they were somehow able to pass through the locked door and pass all the traps here, because I controlled the lid again and again, and I just don't find a opening where birds could slip through from above. There is none. They somehow managed to pass all the traps and then somehow managed to end up in my pasture, and I just don't know how. But anywho, this is one thing. But we also have other things that I found interesting. We have here a statue of Bim Archbines, which is just some random guy that got slain at the border. And here again, we have a notion towards Udil. That was basically the moment when he was no longer expedition leader. I wonder if the people of Brightness Portals kind of like took it bad on him. And I mean, it was happening on his watch that we deforested this area here. And while the elves are all hippies and they don't know anything about life, well, you know, ever since we did that, creatures up here are agitated. You know, there's still freaking agitated animals everywhere, and it doesn't stop. So all in all, I wonder if not the internal politics of Brightness Portals were, well, maybe Udil isn't all the hero that I think he is for those people. So I really enjoy the storytelling here in between. And where was the last one? We have one with cats. Shortfin Mako Shark. No. Bats. That's crazy. Oh yeah, here. This one I found also quite interesting. Bats. So we have here a depiction of Nashas, the goddess of love. And I found it quite interesting that we have them here in a she looks dejected posture. What does that mean? Do our dwarfs here actually favor death and Vukar above all? Well, only time will tell. So, that's just as a little bit of a delving into the art section of Brightness Portals. So, in the meantime, the wall has been somewhat finished. Yeah, we got this one down here too. So, we're going to build a classic little pit here, nothing special. Just gonna go for a drop-down shaft, and the cages will be stored in the room down there where safe prompt is just stopping us from browse down there. So the idea of mine is that the Forgotten Beast down there will take care of the problems for me, and at the same time, wait a sec. So this is no good spot. We need to punch a hole at the right spot, so this looks okay. Yeah, this is okay. So we got a departure spot at... Does this work? Yeah, this does work. So brilliant. Okay, we're going to use this one. Or, no, that one. This is better. So there's no wall adjacent to the hole. That can be sometimes really important, especially when you have climby people. So we have to drill a hole down here. So this is just the maintenance shaft for the people that are supposed to do the thing here. Okay, so let's unpause and do the thing. I paused the game here intentionally because, you know, when I mess up with this kind of thing here, if we get unlucky, we end up with a Forgotten Beast in our fortress, and that ain't fun. So, speaking about no fun, look at those darn Crundles, man. They're literally everywhere. Murder them. Kill. Go for it, boys. Glory. Glory for Wukar and stuff, you know? I'm literally tired of these guys that are just littering the whole place here. So, Vutok Imeshmafal went missing. Oh, how could that happen? So, they murdered a few. That's okay for me. So, let's finish that. I think, yeah, we got this then. Alright, so to make sure that nothing, that we can contain this if something super bad happens, let's install a door and a bridge before we punch a hole in there, you know? Just good habits that I acquired here over the time. So let's see. Vutok Imeshmafal, for those who are new to this fortress, was one person that went, well, I would say insane over the course of the time, and through several tantrums that ultimately led to the multiple injury of many people in the staircases, and the whole hospital was full with wounded people. And then that was the moment when we decided to slam the door for her for the last time, because that was just too much of the escalation there. So we got that. We're gonna bury her and pay her the last respects. But I'm glad that we won't have to deal with her craziness anymore. So once these things here are in place, I'll dare to start punching holes into the floor and finish up that pit. Alright, there must have been some miasma here in the staircase for a while before that turned to a skeleton. So this fortress is... it has its kinks, you know? It has its kinks. But the new pit will be so valuable for us. It'll be a really, a real big step forward for Shin Mistum to take care of their old problems faster with less micromanagement. So, in one way or another, these beasts will be put to good use. And if the creatures that we put in there will kill off that guy, I'm going to see if I can't utilize that baddie here somehow. But we need somebody to take care of the Grundles, you know. It has to happen. So, let's put a switch here into that hallway here. There's finally the door. So we're now allowed to punch holes in here. Boom, boom. It's a bit scary to open up connection to this here, and you know, I checked. It can't fly. It's just a quadruped, and well, I hope at least that it can't fly or can't climb there. And we got a ghost haunting our fortress, so... oh, well. So many things needing our attention at once. I need to widen these staircases, I just noticed. So... that should increase the speed of traffic by a lot. But let's not do too many things at once. I want to monitor this as closely as possible, so there's not going to be any unfortunate accidents, and then we're going to take care of that crazy ghost here. So, troubling past acquaintances and relatives. Alright. One from the blamey sort, I guess. So we're going to put walls in here now to make sure that there's going to be no access whatsoever to this. And then after these walls are up, the pit is almost ready for its first rodeo. It's going to be cool because we're going to have a fighting pit down here. I'm looking forward to that. So let's check out who the dead person is, so we can't bury that poor guy. didn't mean to click the right mouse button. Rodent men. No, wait a sec. Wrong thing here. So, are they among the citizens? I did the big mistake to accidentally click him away. Well. We can do this the hard way, I guess. So, you know, you can see if somebody is a ghost here in the list. Usually I just keep the name up here in the notifications, so I don't have to look here like that, but here. Zuglar was the name. Okay, I can't wait for this baddie to get into, to swing into gear. There's Zuglar. Hovering around. So let's get back real quick to our little fountain project. I think it should work like that. No, we don't have buckets. What are you doing with those buckets, man? Are you eating them? I mean, I literally told them to do another. You know what? We're going to do a constant work order for these now. There seems to be a never-ending need for these, so we put them on a never-ending supply. Then I'm done with needing buckets the whole time. So here again, we have a pretty long transit. The usual thing. So I want to widen these staircases for real. I think this will do a lot of improvement for the fortress. If we improve on the infrastructure here a little bit. So I promised some more narrative things, and I want to deliver while we're waiting on the completion of the pit. So I was doing some research here, and when I looked on the map, we had these encounters here, and our last few attacks we were destroying Teacher Devils, Plaguebug, and Dungeon Domain. Our forces ultimately came to a defeat at the Fortress of Nightmare Series. I took it wrong here. These are all pits, and that's a fortress. Fortresses obviously are a little bit of a different deal. Our troops were fought back by a blind monster called Ayara Blossom Goal. So I have ordered some statues of that creature, so we can look at what this thing is. But some other thing crossed my or caught my attention. The civilization that's down here we're at war with are the Flecked Curses. When we check up here, that's our home area. There's the Scorpion of Sects. That's one civilization we're at war with. But the other Goblin civilization that is up here is called the Flecked Curses, just like the dudes here. And while the majority of goblins here are the Scorpion of Sects, there's one thing that stood out here. A goblin fortress with a whopping amount of 2,000 inhabitants as the center and heart of this place. And for some reason they have some premises down here, so in a narrative. I think our next meetup with the liaison will have some serious news that the evil that we know of here in the fortress, Twinkle Monstrous, whoever came up with that name, is seemingly expanding in the southern area, trying to do that behind our back. So we also have the other civilization here called the Horror of Drinking, keeping this whole area down here under control. So all in all, there's a lot of goblin civilizations that we have to grind through. But I think for now, we really have to work on the other locations first and keep the fortresses for the last confrontations. But I personally thought it was a wonderful twist of events insofar as it depicts the you know, the arrogance and the over-ambitious zeal of the dwarves of Shin Mistama in a wonderful way. I like that one. So we're putting up a wall here, and in a bigger picture, this puts this fortress, of course, into a new mission. They have to fight back the evil that seems to want to grab a hold down here in the south to replicate itself, because they seem to be beaten down by the competition around them. The scorpion dudes have the upper hand in the area, so you need to seek out another turf then. So, oh boy, there's the stinks. Giant bat and the troll are fighting, couldn't care less. So let's get rid of the rotten Crundle here. You always miss one Crundle. It's just like that. So once that wall is done, we're going to punch the hole, and I can't wait, man. So let's put up the the slab. I love to allocate these slabs over the course of the time in these fortresses. These guys have a pretty well, a pretty morbid sort of religion. Yeah, let's call it like that. And therefore, I find these extremely fitting for this fortress. Okay, so it's showtime, my friends. We're going to deliver this creature now only the finest Crundles, and let's see how that'll play out. Who are you, and why are you carrying this so slowly? I bet he's carrying not only a baby, but also a cage with a giant bat. Ha! That's that. So, the thing is, right now, we're going to slow down our fortress a little bit and build up our fighting forces anew, because we had quite some losses. Not only did we lose dwarves to the horror in the fortress up here, we also lost part of our fighting force to the giant spider. So we nearly lost well, 6 armed dwarves, I think. And therefore we need to put up the training again. So it's pit time, friends. Oh man, I love this. So let's get rid of the Crundles first. So here we go. Probably we want to keep the giant molds. So this is going to be ridiculous for that monster, because it's going to be... I don't think that the Crundles have any chance, in all honesty. But it is a wonderful way of emptying our cages in a faster way. And since we have this all behind locks, we can totally seal this off if the necessity arises. I'm very happy with this system. Had worse. Had way worse. So we can now assign whatever is filling our cages. There's more Crundles. We have so freaking many Crundles. It's amazing, but I didn't expect less. So giant moles and reachers. Okay. This won't work with giant bats though, I guess. They'll just keep flying. But now we see those traps refreshed, and yeah, this guy's having the time of his life. So basically, if Forgotten Beasts are happy when they get to fight, we're putting up a good thing for this one. Okay, so let's see if the statues I've ordered are done here. Electrum statues, wonderful. So Ayara, Blossomed Gold, the Lush Ghost. So a blind yeah, the blind monster, surrounded by goblins. Oh My gosh. This fortress is already 100 years old. So I think we totally took this too lighthearted. So are these really the same? Oh well. Okay, we got some fresh migrants, and a dwarf's workshop has been inhabited by a possessed dwarf. These are good news, although I don't prefer possessions, but you know, artifacts are always good for the fortress. Wow. So the revelations about the attack there couldn't have been more grim. While the people first thought that what we saw there was just something that tried to expand only so recently, turned out to be something that had its grip in the region, like always. So this puts up some really, really bad implications about our mission. But, you know, a civilization that's following a suicide god, I think they could have worse. So let's put up the statues for Ayara. And I think I just hear that or dwarves are getting ready to vibe some in the tavern. Or no, that's not the tavern song. Is it? Well, we'll see about that. They're just having a really, really good time here, though, I gotta say. And so do I, because my traps are finally freed up. So let's get back to the new pit. Ah, look at it. It must be happy now. It panicked after being attacked. Come on! It is as it is, my friends. So the good part about it is that we have now a fast solution for inhabitants of the caverns. This will make it a lot easier to oh, let's put that cave croc down there too. This will make it a lot easier to manage whatever is down there. We can slaughter what we want, and we can put the rest of these things into the pit. I really like that. Wait a sec, somebody was found dehydrated. So our hospital has taken yet another victim. So I am still not quite sure where all the buckets end up in this fortress. I mean, at some point, it should end. I mean, I ordered a permanent influx now. All right, we are out of wood. Probably I didn't cut wood enough. Maybe the construction of the pit has distracted me a little bit too much. Maybe the history dive also. I feel a little bit sorry for that guy, but you know, it is as it is. Oh, yuck. A voracious cave crawler. Well, it'll go into our traps sooner or later. And a Gabbro figurine. Well, he claims it as an heirloom, and I gotta say, I don't mind. I don't mind. The thing is that figurines and stuff, they just don't have a high value in any pragmatical way. You can put them on pedestals and the like. How? Probably connected to the dehydrated dwarf in the hospital. That's what I'd assume now. Weird things are going on here. We have a bit of a bucket crisis, but that's always been like that ever since we've lost access to the surface wood. I don't dare to chop any trees up here. This is cursed territory. Only the underground was safe. Because the problem is not in chopping the trees. The problem is in hauling the stuff back home, and putting my haulers under risk. The stuff that's down here in the caverns is a walk in the park compared to those agitated animals on the surface. So I'm happy that the Savage Lands live up to their name in this series, and that's where we're going to end today's episode. I feel like I'm a little bit shocked about the findings there. Our conquest here in the south has been slowed down a little bit by these findings, but by no means have we been put to a halt. No, no. We're just going to regroup and reorganize ourselves, feed the beasts in the depths, and train new forces, and take these goblins fortress by fortress, pit by pit. So, the thing is, probably for the fortress, we're going to wait until the very end of this campaign. But it also went clear for me that we're not going to attack the horror of drinking anytime too soon. We're going to keep them in a neutral position for as long as we can, because everything else would be war tactic wise madness. And it might even be that for the invasion of the horror of drinking, might be even founding a new fortress for that project. We'll see about that. So, thanks for watching this episode. It's been my pleasure. I really, really enjoyed this series a ton, and I hope you do so too. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. A thumbs up is very, very appreciated. And if you want to support the channel, leave a subscription. It doesn't cost you more than a click. And if you go for that bell thing, you can stay notified with all the new stuff that I keep publishing every day. Playlist link goes down there if you want to check out the entire Savage Lands saga. It is all there for your pleasure. Yet again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys next time again. And until then, have a great time. Bye bye.